Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
What's up, people? It's another day in paradise. It's the Public Speaking Expert Podcast. Jose.
Joe.
I just
Welcome, everybody.
I just don't get the purpose. What's the purpose? Why?
What's the purpose?
Why? I just don't get it.
What's your big why? What makes your heart sing? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't get the purpose.
Why did you wake up this morning?
Yes.
Why did you go to bed in the evenings?
Yes.
What wakes you up? Yeah.
You wake me up.
Okay, then. So could I be your purpose? Your reason for being?
Can I be your purpose, baby? I can take away
the pain. Hold on, this one should be for me, even though I'm not Spanish, but I don't even know the lyrics.
You can take my purpose
breath away.
Okay,
I wanna be your purpose.
Do you think they can guess what today's episode's about?
I hope they do. It's not about this gentleman singing. It's not about heroes. It's about purpose.
But heroes always have a great purpose.
True, and that's why they accomplish what they do, because they're driven.
Sometimes they have to live long enough to become the hunted, be like Batman. He had to become the hunted in order for people to have someone to take their anger and frustration out on so they can save themselves. You see, that's the kind of stuff a hero does.
There we go. So it's that level of sacrifice. That's fantastic. And it's linked to having the purpose. So you said something very interesting, Elliot. Speaking about, we're going to be touching on tips, as we know, later on for people that have been listening to the Speakers Experts podcast. So there is what you mentioned. Yeah, you can be my purpose, which if you think about it, it's kind of external. So you're, passing on all of that responsibility to someone else. What if that purpose came from within? It can be a higher level or a deeper level, which is some of the things we like to discuss on our daily shows as well on the Elliot and Jose show.
On Clubhouse.
So, on Clubhouse. Thank you very much. And hopefully by the time you're listening to this, it's still going on Clubhouse.
Midday
FYI.
UK time, FYI. If you want to join us on Clubhouse, midday UK, 12 o'clock, the Elliot and Jose Show Club. And every day we do different topics. So if you like this podcast, join us on Clubhouse. And if you've heard us on Clubhouse, join us on this podcast. But you're already listening on the podcast, so it's really relevant what I just said. So let's kick off. What's some of the problems around purpose?
Simple. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I stand for. What should it be? What is it? Really actually understanding. How do I connect with it? Because so many people say, yeah, well, go and connect with your purpose, find your why. What if you don't even know where to start? So we're going to be covering some of these things today. What other problems are you finding when people actually lack purpose, Elliot?
I think one of the problems I find with purpose is people take on what they think should be their purpose versus what is actually their purpose. So you talked about the external aspect. And I find a lot of people, they read books or they'll go to seminars or they hear speakers and they go, oh my God, yeah, that should be my purpose. I don't know why I just did that terrible accent. Right. Oh, that should be my purpose. I should be. And that's not real. That's not internal. That's not, that's not going to drive you. It's going to give you motivation, which means when you have a bad day, you'll give up, but it doesn't drive you long term. And really, we're not getting there yet. So that's one of the problems I also foresee when it comes to purpose.
That is very important. I'm just thinking the amount of times we get people that even impacting their confidence, their motivation, they lack that energy. And it's because they haven't actually connected with that deeper thing, whatever that thing might be. And Elliot, spot on. We go actually looking for these role models and things like this, and then we want to hold on to them. And it's just actually go and find it within. What is that thing that by doing you're going to impact? Think about it this way. You're going to start impacting your environment and impacting people in your life and impacting your own self.
Jose,
this can go deep. This can go deep. I love it. Imagine. This is a very purposeful podcast.
All the people. Yes, go on. Sorry, songs are just going off in my head today.
For the day.
Yeah. Go on, you started to say this could go deep. I don't know where you
You may
just went with that.
say.
Oh, you're
With
actually
the what? With
singing
the
that
song.
song.
I'm still singing it. Yeah. I mean, I thought you
What
started it,
tune
and
was that? Is that the Venezuelan version?
yeah, this is the Venezuelan version with a bit of maracas and joropo. It may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Have the purpose. No, that didn't come out well. Okay, I think we're going to stop the podcast here, people. And you find your purpose, and you let us know what it is. I'm only joking. We would never do that to you.
Okay, so by the way, people, after that singing,
Powered by Riverside FM.
oh, I pressed the wrong button. Completely the wrong button. Anyway, what I wanted there was a bit of an interlude to kind of go something and go, by the way, if you do want to discuss anything in deep about your public speaking journey or anything like that, just reach out to myself, reach out to Jose. You can get us on the Elliot and Jose show on Instagram. Just in the link, there's a little link in the bio. There's a link. Click on it. You can book a coffee with Jose. You can book a coffee with me. You can do the test. Bunch of resources. Just go on the Instagram. And by the way, if you give us a great review and you take a picture of it and you send it to me or to us on Instagram, tag us in it in a story, I will post out a book to you as a gift to say thank you for supporting us. We will support you. Isn't that right, Josie? So,
Elliot, beautiful stuff. And people, do it because that book is amazing. Elliot is about to say something else, and I interrupted because it's actually an incredible offer.
thank you. I was
So-
actually going to say, boom.
Bam.
Boom. So we talked about what's something like, I know you've got another juicy problem, and then we're going to challenge the people have around purpose, and then we'll move to what to do about it. What can I do? Hey, what are you doing? Are you doing? What are you doing? What's some of the challenges, Josie?
Oh, you want more challenges? We've
Is there
already
any?
touched on the challenges for speaking. I think we've covered loads of them already.
Okay.
Have you got another one, or shall we go? I think if we go into tips, we're going to, be able to help people even further, because with the problem is just there. It's that lack of sense of being, the lack of, why am I here type of thing, especially when it comes to speaking, which is going to help you big time once we start with the
I've got one.
tips.
Here's the thing,
Cool.
right? If you need accountability, you're not on purpose. Controversial.
Ooh, powerful. Oh yeah, and
Slightly controversial, I know, because I have this really skewed relationship with accountability, right? I do not believe in accountability in the sense that if you say you're going to do it, you do it. Your word's your bond. My word's my bond. If I say I'm going to do something, I get it done. I don't need to pay someone to hold me accountable. I get it done. No one needs to tell me to go running every weekend. No one needs to tell me what needs to be done. Now, being answerable is different. But when you're on purpose, you don't need to be held accountable. Ooh, controversial. Wow.
very, very.
Mic
So, people,
drop.
if you want to comment on this and get in touch with Elliot, then hit him hard. It's a good point. It's a very good point, and I love it.
There we go. That's why we have different opinions.
Boom.
What can people do about it? Take it away, Jose. You know you don't have to do a sound effect to a sound effect. Are you aware of that?
Okay.
Okay, so let's try that again. Take it away,
Yeah.
Jose.
Okay. Do it again. Do it again. Yeah, but when I do it with it, I feel more empowered to go. Actually, there is a connection within me. Anyway, so some tips, some of the things you could do. Think about it this way: when you wake up in the morning, visualize your day finishing. What have you done? Who have you helped? What kind of activities have you performed? And in the process, how are you? See the impact you're having on people's lives. What's happening with you? Just start simply by looking at the things you like doing. What's important about the things you are doing? This is especially for people that don't know what their purpose is and you're looking for inspiration. Get started. What are those things that you like doing? What's important about them? Is there value in it for you, of course, and for other people? And can you get paid for it as well? Think about it that way, because it's fun and there are different levels of purpose. But since this is the Public Speaking Experts podcast, we would like to have a monetization side of it as well, so you can run a profitable business that can actually help more people and help yourself. So think about those elements. What's important about you? What could you do to help others? What does the world need, or the world being your environment? Okay, it doesn't have to go out there international yet. And yeah, that one thing people would be willing to pay for. Those are very good questions to get you started. Over to you, Elliot, and then pass it on to me, and then I pass it on to you, and then boom, bam, boom.
If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for. I don't know
Enough
what's
for
going on with
me.
his singing today. Like
Wow,
all these songs keep coming to
that
my
one
head every
is
time you.
really good.
So here's what I'm going to say. I think a lot of people need to simplify what they perceive as their purpose, right? Whatever you choose as your purpose has to have longevity, and you've got to be able to ride the wave of rejection. You've got to be able to want to get out of bed. You don't need to be held accountable. So, for example, for me, my purpose is very simple to be, and it's in this order: to be a great dad, to be a great husband, and to impact the entrepreneurial community globally. If I didn't have those, especially through the pandemic and the tough times and lockdowns when people literally wrote off training budgets and things like that, and it was tough times, right? It was tough times. I think I probably would have given up had I had not a strong sense of purpose, had I not felt that by not honoring my purpose, I'm letting my tribe down. And that's what I mean. It doesn't have to be a Gandhi or a Malcolm X or a Martin Luther King. It can be, by the way. That's completely okay. But it doesn't have to be. And a lot of people is uh, obsessed by what I would call a Hollywood purpose. It's like this big, glamorous, glitzy thing. And that can be disheartening when you don't get there or it takes a long time. Now, if that's your thing, go for it. You want to change legislation, you want to impact environmental issues, go for it, go crazy. But it's a long-term thing. It's got longevity. It doesn't happen overnight. And you've got to be willing to take the punches, and you can take the punches and keep going. And that to me is an indication that you are on purpose. Jose.
Elliot, I want to ask you a question because this can be very cool for the audience as well. So, and the short version of it, of course, how did you get to that purpose? How did you find it? What did you do? What happened for you to actually connect with it?
So for me, the short version is this. If you asked me a few years ago, definitely prior kids, I would have gone, my purpose is to bring peace to the Middle East. That would have been one of my answers, because that is very much ingrained in my upbringing. That's ingrained in a lot of philosophies. And, I'd love to see peace in the Middle East. Whenever I've attempted to go down that path, huge resistance, both from the external world and the internal world. And because I wasn't willing to put up a fight for it, I knew I wasn't on purpose. However, when my kids came along and I got married and I suffered from depression, I found this depth of fight that I'd never experienced before, you know. And it's that fight that when you feel like you've got nothing left, it gives you a kick in the bollocks, right? It's that fight that picks you up, and it's not like, yeah, Rocky, yeah, come on. It's really deep. It's very quiet. It's very subtle, but it gets you out of bed. It makes you show up in a way you weren't ready. It kind of, you look in your kid's eyes or your wife's eyes or whoever you care about's eyes, and you go, I've got to get through this. And that's how I knew I was on purpose. And then coming through that, at the end of it, now there's a huge relief, huge freedom. Um, that's what I mean. Often our purpose lives closer to home than we think.
Powerful. Thank you so much, Elliot, for sharing with us as well and for answering my question, because I believe there's going to be great value for people to see how in a way you dealt with it, and how you became the person you are today. Because in my own experience as well, there's going to be moments of darkness, moments in which you fall down that rabbit hole, and you get stuck and everything else. And those are the moments that, if you want to, if you push, if you look for answers, those are the moments that are going to make the difference and can help you finding that deeper or different reason for being. Another thing, when it comes to purpose, it's fine. In the past, I used to make it all about me. Now, of course, I want to improve myself. I want to do things, but make it about others as well. If you ask me, I have different levels of purpose. It's the one that I really would like to influence the world, and especially people in Africa, Latin America, and Asia that cannot afford certain level of education. That's one thing. That's actually the highest level. But then underneath that, there is, I want to impact more people with the communication and public speaking. And underneath that, I want my wife to be happy, for example, you see. And even if I go, below, I want to travel more to see my parents and things like that. So, because I want to be in touch, that's the need for connection and everything else. all of them are impacting people's lives. So when I wake up in the morning, and we've had this in the past, Elliot, and it's just lacking that energy, whatever, you connect with that greater reason. Connect your purpose with, what you would like to achieve that day. Make it a day by day, even hour by hour sometimes. And you feel how, I'm going to go after it. I'm going to achieve my dreams, because imagine then for a moment, if all of us as human beings wanted to achieve our dreams to support other people, we would be living in a very different world. That's the beauty of finding purpose. And imagine then as a speaker that we can broadcast that message to the world, Elliot K.
Amazing. And I think that's a beautiful way to wrap up today's show. So if you take nothing else away from today, make sure whatever you do on purpose, that you remain true to who you really are, not who you think someone wants you to be. And you know what? Progress can be slow, but be worthwhile. Make sure there's longevity to your purpose, and make sure you're spreading the word to impact, empower, and change people's lives, whether it be in your community, your family, or whether it be a wider audience. Till then, be seen, be heard, and always, always be the expert in the room.
You've been listening to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot K. and Jose Ucar. Follow us on Instagram and join us next week for even more. Remember to always speak your greatness. Subscribe, rate, and comment.